Stunner. All right, guys, what we're doing, what we're talking about today is we're talking about this condenser bracket. We're gonna uninstall the old one here. As you can see right here, I have a crack here. I broke it trying to disconnect some hoses, and it's old anyway. As you can see, it's also cracked there. So I'm replacing this, right? And what we already have the new one here already on here. And guys, the easiest way to do this is I'm gonna give you the steps on how it goes on and comes off. All right. When you putting this on and taking it off, you're gonna be pulling out and up, not trying to go down in there. You're gonna take it out and in from the bottom. And as you can see, I've already got it in here. But I'm gonna pull it out and demonstrate to you how it goes in here. Without breaking it, because it's really some cheap plastic. Alright, that's it. This is what you're gonna do to take it out. Because it has to go in there a specific way. You can't just do it the way you want to do it. And I'm gonna show you the top view very soon, but I'm just trying to get it out for now. Because it has clips that it needs to adhere to. It has to wrap around the condenser. By the way, if I didn't mention, this is the condenser bracket. Try to get there without getting a view of the camera. Here we go. Got it. Anyway, this is how you would take it out. This is it out. Now again, when you're putting it back in, you're gonna go downward. Slide it back in there. And I'm gonna show you a different angle. If I can get my camera to work with me. And it might just be too short here. I'm going to show you down here. This is the condenser. This is the radiator. And this is the condenser, right? And the cooler is hanging down here, right here. Which I had to take that apart, and be careful because that has transmission fluid in the cooler, right? But the bracket, if you see, it has the clips on there that have to clip. This is what keeps it fastened to condenser right here, right? And this other part right here, bottom right there, and the bottom right there. So again, it has to fit around the condenser. And as you see the shape of the bracket, it fits right alongside here. And this is the top portion of it. And if you see right here, this is what this bottom part is going to slide into. And this little, what I'm pushing in, this is going to clip the top of there to keep it fastened. So this little lip here is going to drop down in here. And the top of it, this is going to clip to connect it. It has another one. All right. Drop my bolts. right there. That there. But this bottom one here is going to fit. Well, you can't see it because I got the condenser on right there. And the other top part of it is right here. This is the top part of the radiator bracket that's going to connect the condenser bracket to there. That top part there is going to sit in that slot right there. So that's why you bring it from down and up instead of pulling it out, because it's not going to work if you pull it out. Okay, you got to pull it down. Then when you put the new one back in, you got to put it in from the bottom up. All right, let me see if I can get that done real quick. Of course, I got all my connections I had to make, and I got to now put back. And you don't have to drain anything, but obviously you got to drain the coolant, because you don't have to drain the radiation of the transmission fluid. You just have to disconnect the radiator coolant. So now I gotta push this back up in here and get it to fit. Line it back up. See, that's what I was saying. It snaps into there. Everything lines up and snaps. That's why you have to be careful. Again, it's not the highest quality. Right. Now, let's see. I don't think I quite got it on here. I don't. You try to do both sides at the same time, if you can. All right, got one side. Other side. All right, now that's clipped in there, right? Now I want to show you what it looks like from overhead. See that? This is the condenser again, clipped on there. This little bracket right here is, it's my finger right there, clipped in there. That's what's holding it in there, right? That little clip again, right? So now that's pressed up against there. And of course, you're going to disconnect your hoses. These right here, hose clips, are clipped into here like this. And the other one is clipped into there like that. This is your I believe this is your Freon line, I believe. Your AC lines right here. And of course this other one is, when I'm done, it's gonna clip into there. But you have to disconnect your lines right there off of the old bracket to get it out. And of course I had to disconnect my horn here. The horn was right here like this. So you have to disconnect that to get that out of it, because the horn is in the way. And as you see, I'm gonna just try to hang this on here so I can show you. These little clips right here go, these little clips go back into there. See the two prong end, and this little clip right here is gonna go into the little, it's gonna go right in that little hole right there. I'll go ahead and put this back on here just so it won't be dangling and just all out of the way. Screw that in there temporarily. All right, and again, like I said, this is gonna be inside of that hole there, and this is gonna be clipped in there when I get to it. Now these right here, of course, are your lines from your AC lines right there. You don't have to disconnect these, because this bracket comes right around as you saw. And now, in order to get to this, guys, you have to take a few bolts out. These bolts right here were in here like this, right? And of course, that bolt goes to there. I got another one for here, so forth, and so much and so forth, right? I'm just gonna put them in there so I don't lose them, right? Anyway, those bolts, you have to take those 4 bolts out. Another bolt you got to take out is this bolt right here that connects to that bracket. This bracket connects to your radiator. This bolt right here, and this is a 13 mil. You got another one over here. That's a 13 mil, and I forgot to say these are, I believe, 10 mil right there. All right. Then up here you got another bolt you got to take out. I believe it was a 13 mil. 13 mil, and these bolts right here are 13 mil. They come out of here, right? That one there and that one there. So you got to be able to pull this big bracket out of your vehicle right there. All right. And of course, you got to take this small bolt out right here to give you some wiggle room to pull out your bumper just a little bit. Now on this side, I disconnected part of the bumper just so I could get some more wiggle room, but you don't have to take the bumper completely off. And there's a bolt there, bolt there. These are 10 mil bolts, right? Right there, and right there. So that, I'm gonna just push that bumper back in there. And you got these little rivets that's inside of that's holding the bumper on from the bottom, and it's a bunch of them down there. You got to take those out. And I already told you, got to take the horn off. But that's it. That's all you got to do to be able to get to the to remove your condenser bracket. And of course, this is your oil cooler right here. What I did, this oil cooler is gonna sit back in there like that. It's gonna fit right back in there. As you can see, I got some leaking. Let me set this camera down. Let's see if I got y'all right. Yeah, this is the oil cooler right here. I meant the radiator cooler. This is going to be sitting in this slot right here, and it's going to be connected like this. You're going to have to take this off to get to it, but this is going to sit back in there like that. This is going to be behind here, clipped into there when it's all said and done, and that's how it looks when it's on there. But again, guys, you got to take your radiator cooler off. Got to disconnect that line right there. You got to come here and you move these bolts right there. Come over here. remove those bolts. Come up here, remove these 4 bolts. This bolt here, that bolt there, and part of the bumper. And you pull the bracket out from the bottom. Then you push it back in from that way. And again, when I finally get it in here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here, this is going to sit down in there, which I could probably go ahead and do it now. I got it. And also, this is your brake line right here. That's going to come out. You just pop this out of the top part right here where this connects into that bracket, because this is going to sit down in there. But this your line for your condenser, if you can move this around right here, it's not that big up there. You can adjust that. You just don't have to disconnect these lines right here. You can leave those lines connected. Only line you got to disconnect is this line that's connected to the radiator. I believe it's called a radiator cooler. Right, you just got to disconnect that line right there. And let me see if I can reconnect this. Lift up. And watch that. It's gonna put that over there. Put that one over there. And this thing, you just press down on it. Like that. You gotta make sure the top is lined up also. You heard that snap? One of them snapped in there. I got to see if the other one snapped. Right. Make sure the one up top slides in place. Okay, there we go. Know you heard that snap. And as you can see, I was saying that snapped into there. When you're taking this off again, you push that tab in. I don't know if you can see it. You're going to push that in there, and you're going to pull up. And you can do one side at a time. And again, up top, you can't see it from that angle. But here is where that bracket sat down into that little slot. I don't got a light on it, so you really can't see. But as you can see, that one there sat right down in there. And that's the little tab right there. So that snapped in there. So now all I got to do is start reconnecting everything. And of course, set the camera back down. See if I got you guys at a good angle. That's when I'm going to make sure everything is snapped up here. All my lines are connected back up, sitting like it's supposed to. Take my bolt out. Right there. Over here, take my other bolt out. Got this battery connected. I was charging my battery. Alright, then I'm going to take this whole thing, lift up on it. Gotta take these bolts out. They're in the way. Put these bolts down real quick. I'm going to lift up. And I'm going to put this main bracket back on here. And then, like I was showing you guys, right here, this bolt here, it's gonna go back in there, and it's gonna slide back into that little slot right there. Wish I had a light in here. But put that one back in there. Do that bolt. Come over here and do the same thing. That bolt in that slot. Press it back up in there. Alright. And this is sort of a reverse order, guys, that I'm showing you. And remember I told you these 4 bolts. Press this. Now, of course, when you do this, you're going to want to make sure your battery is disconnected. And also, you want to go up here and you're going to disconnect your cable here. It's your power cable right here, just as a precaution. That power cable sits right there. I disconnected that from that so I don't short any of my fuses. But you don't have to take this. You don't have to take this fuse box off. You just need to get space in here. So you're just gonna put these 4 bolts back on there. Let's see if I got it. I'm just gonna hand tighten them in there just for demonstration purposes. Trying to do this with one hand. Anyway, you get the picture. I'm gonna put all 4 of those back. I've already put this one on here. And then I'm gonna go in here. And then I'm gonna start putting these back on here. All right. And also, guys, I took out my head. You got to take out your headlights also to be able to comfortably be able to pull this out without breaking anything. So you're going to take your headlights out, be able to have access to this. Now you want to make sure you line this back up like it's supposed to be. Get back on there just for demonstration purposes, guys. And then, of course, like I said, you're going to reconnect your lines back up on there. Come right here. This is my oil cooler. I'm at my keep saying oil cooler. Radiator cooler line right here. I have to replace this one because this one looks a little. Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace that one. But that's how it looks. I got my cover down there. And I just start snapping stuff back into place, guys. But that's pretty much it. I'm still working on the vehicle, doing a complete overhaul of the cooling system. I thought about replacing this radiator cooler. I'm still undecided about it. And well, condenser cooler, should I say. I'm still undecided about that, but I got to do a flush on it. And I see I got my heater hose connected. I got the alternator back in there, guys. Thermostat, all that. And that's where we are, guys. Stay tuned. It's gonna